Hey guys, in this video I'm going to show you how to create a custom social media planner tool which allows you to plan all your social media content and decide when and where you want to post it. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using Airtable and Integromat. If you don't know what Airtable is, it's this fantastic tool right here which allows you to create online databases with so many different types of fields, as you can see here. And store all your data. And then Integromat is this tool right here which allows you to connect different applications together and create really powerful workflows. Now with that being said, let's get started and let me show you how I built this step by step. The first thing you need to do is create a new base on your Airtable, right? So this can be on a new workspace, you can decide obviously, and once you create a new base, what you need to do is create a new table. I called it posts, and this is where I'm going to be storing all my posts, right? So you can basically schedule as many posts as you want in advance, you know. So if you're planning on a 30-day social media campaign and you want to schedule all those posts in advance, you can do it right here, and every entry on this table is going to be a new post. Now every post you make here has a few fields, right? So as you can see, I have the caption of the post, right? This is the text that's going to go on the post. Then I have an image, which is actually an attachment field, and this is where you can upload your image file. I have an accounts field right here, which is actually a multiple select, and I have all the different social media networks that I can post to, and here I can actually select more than one, right? So I can actually make the post on multiple social media networks at once. And this is where I add all the different social media networks. Here I have the post date, which is actually a date field, right? With an ISO format for the date. And I also have a time field included because I want to select what date I want the post to be made on. And I also want to select the time. Then here I have a formula field, which is actually a formula that takes whatever is in this field and converts it into a string, right? Now, if you don't know what a string is, I don't want to make this too complex and technical. Just ask me below in the comments and I will explain what a string is. But in simple terms, what a string is basically like text. Think of it like text. So the reason I want to do this is because here on this field, the type of data is a date, right? And on this field, I want the same data, but I want the type of data to be string, right? Or text, whatever you want to call it. So that's what this formula is basically doing. It's taking whatever is here and converting it into string format. The reason we need to do this is because later on Integromat, I'm actually gonna have a formula which requires the date to be in string format. I'm gonna show you that in a second. Now on the final field here, this is a posted field and it's actually a checkbox, right? And the idea here is that once the post is made, this should go, this should be a tick, right? So there we go. This is the Airtable side. So as I mentioned before, you just go here and create all your, schedule all your posts and select the date and time you want to post them. Now let's move on to Integromat here where things become a little bit more complex. As you can see, my scenario starts with an Airtable Search records function. Now what this function is meant to do is basically search through the records of the Airtable, right? So this table right here, and find all the posts that have their date set to the same, they have all their dates set to the current date, right? So today for me is the 15th of April, 2020. And as you can see, this post has the same date as the current date. So what this module is going to do is find the posts that have the current date, because in order to post on all the social media networks, we want to post on the right date, right? So every day at specific times, we're going to be going through this, we're going to be executing this scenario, and this module is going to find all the posts that are set for the current date. I hope that makes sense. Now this formula right here is what makes that happen. As you can see, this formula searches all the entries on the table and looks at this field right here, the post date string. And then right here, what we do is, let me open this up so you can see it. What we do, this thing right here, which you can actually add by going to this tab right here, and then now this is a variable that basically gets the current date and time, as you can see right there. And then I also use this module right here, this function right here, format date, which basically allows me to input the current date and time and then convert it to this format right here that I specified. I want the format to be y, month, month, and then date, date, because the format that I have on my Airtable is ISO. And this format right here, I also want it to be ISO format. So this is what this whole thing does here, right? It gets the current date and it converts it to this format, and then the quotations around it basically convert it into a string, right? So two parts here, this part and this part. And then in the middle, we have an operation, an equals operation, that basically checks the table, right? It finds all the posts with the date, and then it retrieves all the posts that have the same date as the current date, right? I hope this makes sense, guys. This is the most complicated thing of the whole tutorial, and if you can understand this, then everything else is going to be easy. And then once we retrieve those posts, those records, what we want to do is sort them in ascending order. The reason we do that is because we might want to make more than one post on a day, right? So if I have two posts here, test post 2, for example, let's say Facebook, whatever, and then let's say I have this post set to be posted today at a different time. So the first one is for 12 o'clock, the second one is at 3 o'clock. Both of these posts are for today. So what this formula is going to do is going to retrieve both of those posts, but we want to sort them in ascending order because we obviously want to post, we want to make this post first, and then we want to make this post second, right? So by sorting them in ascending order, this is going to be the first post. And then another important part is the max records. We always want this to be 1 because we don't want to be making multiple posts at the same time. So what this max records is going to do is basically, let me actually run it for you so you can see what I mean. If I unlink this and just run it. So we currently have 2 posts right here, which are both set for the same day. And as you can see, the results we get here is, oh wait, let me change something. Let me set the max records to, let me just remove this. So if I run this now, I should get both posts because they're both set for the same day, and they are searched through this module and they're obtained right here. However, every time I run this scenario, I don't want to make 2 posts. I want to make 1 post. So I want to retrieve a max record of 1 because I want to get the earliest post in the list, right? The one that is at 12, not the one at that is at 3. That's why I'm sorting the list in ascending order. Right, so by setting max record to 1, I'm actually going to get the top element on the list, which is going to be the first post right here, the earliest post, right? So I hope that makes sense. Then let's attach this back to the scenario. Now, the second thing that you need to understand, and this is also a little bit complicated, is the trigger time. Let me set this to 120. And the idea here is that this scenario is going to run at multiple times during each day, right? And the reason we have to do that is because you might want to post more than one, you might want to make more than one post every day, right? Now, if you were only making one post every day, things would be so much more simple, because all you would have to do is just click on once here and select actually every day. So once every day, select the time when you want to post every day, right? And this scenario would run, and it would post on the social media networks you specify, right? If that's what you want to do, if you're only planning on making one post a day on all your social media networks, then all you got to do is just set the scenario here to trigger every day at the specific time you want to post. And this time right here obviously needs to match the time that you have set right there. And that's it. However, if you want to make more than one post a day, things get a little bit complicated. Obviously here, what you will have to do is go and add, let's say we have this post again here today, right? So 2 posts on the same day, and I'm going to make this one 2 o'clock, right? So the first post, I want to make it at 12 o'clock, and the second post, I want to make it at 2 o'clock. In order to achieve this, what I would have to do is set my scenario so it runs multiple times a day in order to make those posts, right? The way we're going to do that is by going to trigger here and going to at regular intervals. I'm going to set this to 120 minutes. So every 2 hours, this scenario is going to run. However, there's no point of running this scenario every 2 hours throughout the whole day. There's no point of doing that, because the thing is, with social media, you pretty much know what times you're going to be posting every day. Like, there's no point of just posting at random times every day. If you're going to post, you can just make your plan and say, every day I'm going to post at 12 and at 4 and at 6, you know, and just keep that schedule going. There's no point of changing it. If you want to change it, then you will also have to change your Integromat module here, your Integromat scenario here. So the idea here, if I know that every day I'm going to be making the posts at 12 and 2, what I would do is I would go to advanced scheduling here, and I would select time from, which is the time where I want to start running this scenario, and the time 2 is the time I want to stop running this scenario. So 4 o'clock, or you can 4 o'clock. I want to run it every single day of the week and every single month of the year, right? So it just runs indefinitely. And it's going to run in intervals of 120 minutes, right? So what this means is that the first time, with the current settings I have here, the first time that this scenario is going to run every day is at 12 o'clock. The second time is going to run is at 2 o'clock. And the third time is going to run is at 4 o'clock, right? So it's going to run a total of 3 times per day. So that gives me the opportunity to schedule up to 3 posts every single day. If I only schedule 2 for a day, that's totally fine. It's just going to run at 4 o'clock, and it's not going to find a post to make. So it's just not going to fully run. That's totally fine. You know, you can, this doesn't require you to make 3 posts a day. It's just giving you the opportunity to have 3 posts for one particular day. If I want to have 4 posts for a particular day, then all I'm gonna do is just make this I don't know, like 6 o'clock, you know, and that's it. You know, it's gonna run at 12, it's gonna run at 2, it's gonna run at 4, and it's gonna run at 6, you know. And then all I'm gonna do is just go here, schedule my posts 2 hours apart. Actually, now that I think about it, oh no, yeah, I said 4, right? I said 4. So yeah, 4 posts right there, and make this at 6, you know, and that's it. All these posts are gonna be posted. All these all these pieces of content are gonna be posted, right? And obviously you can change these times depending on your requirements, you know, you don't have to follow my schedule. You can change the schedule and the interval for to be anything you want, right? It's fully flexible. That's why it's a customized it's a customizable social media tool. And then now we're done with all the difficult bits. The last bit is basically these modules right here. These are just the modules for each social media network. So as you can see here, I went on my search. So here, add, I search for each social media network. So I search for Twitter. This is the module of Twitter right here. You take the module, you choose the create tweet module, right? Which I have right here. And you connect your account, right? So it's going to ask you to provide your login details. And then in the status right here, all you got to do is click on it. And then it's going to give you all the fields from this module right here, right? So remember, this module right here is going to retrieve a max record. It's going to retrieve the earliest post for a day. And it's only going to retrieve one post, right? Every time the scenario runs. So every time the scenario runs, that post, we want to get the caption off, right? So you just select the caption field right here, which is this thing right here. And this is all Twitter allows us to do. It only allows us to post a caption, right? Then once that post is made, this scenario, this module right here is an update record module, right? So you go to, again, you go to Airtable and you select the updated record module. You attach it right there. And what this module needs to do is basically tick the checkbox that says posted. So this thing right here, it needs to tick that. And the way we're going to do that is by selecting the table, so the post table, and then the record ID, we want to retrieve that from here, from this module right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to search through this whole, this is all the Twitter stuff. So we don't need that. We're going to go right to the end. And this is the stuff from this module right here. And we want to get the ID of that record, right? So it's going to search for that record and it's going to find its ID. And then all we got to do is just scroll down. And where it says posted, we're going to make it yes. And what this is going to do is basically just tick the box, right? So the same exact process repeats with all the social media networks. But as you can see here, I'm using a different module for Instagram and Facebook, which I'm going to explain in a second. But the idea is the same. You find the social media module, right? For example, for Pinterest here, as you can see, you select the board on your Pinterest account. Let me actually show you here. So I have a few accounts pulled up. So this is a test account I created, and the board I have on Pinterest is called tutorial. So this is the board, and the note I want to make is the on Pinterest the posts have notes, right? So instead of caption, they call it note, and I want to pass in the caption as the note. And then here for the pin image, I want to select download image from URL. Always when you're attaching images to your posts, you want to make sure that you're attaching a URL, because a file is much more difficult to import on a module, right? So you want to find the image field, and the way you do that, the image URL, sorry, we go back to our, we click here, it's going to show all the fields for the record. We're going to find image here, and we're going to select the URL. This is the URL of the image we have uploaded here, right? So I select URL, and that's going to be the image. So that's Pinterest. And then you work with all the social media networks the same way. And then again, at the end, we attach the update record module in order to add the tick. Obviously, if you're posting to multiple social media networks at once, right? This is going to run for each one of them, but it doesn't matter. The result is going to be the same. It's just going to make the tick there, so you know that it has been posted successfully. Now, for Instagram and Facebook, as you know, Instagram is very restrictive when it comes to its API. So if I search for Instagram here, if I search for the Instagram module, there's no option to make a post, right? So the way the workaround I found for that is by using Buffer. Now, if you don't know what Buffer is, it's a social media it's a social media scheduler basically, right? So it's pretty much what we're trying to create here, but we're trying to create it with Airtable, so we're more organized and we can post on as many social media networks we want without restrictions, without anything, right? But Buffer can be useful because it has a really good connection with different social media network APIs, right? So for example, it has a connection with the Instagram API, right? So it allows you to easily post on Instagram all your images, all your captions very easily, right? So what you do is you create a Buffer account. It's free, right? So you can have a free account on Buffer. You attach your Instagram account on Buffer. It's gonna ask you to convert your Instagram account to a business account so you can enable direct scheduling. And what direct scheduling means is that it's going to allow you to post on the account without having to open the app, right? So it's going to allow you to basically use the API to post to the account. And once you successfully do that, there are plenty of tutorials on Buffer. I don't need to show you this. There are plenty of tutorials on Buffer on how to connect your Instagram account with your Buffer account. Once you successfully do that, then you should be able to add the Buffer. Where is it? It's right here. So Buffer module, right? And you're gonna select the create a status update function right here, the action right here. This is the one right here. So when I click on it, it's gonna show me all the profiles that I have attached on my Buffer account. So as you can see, on my Buffer account, I actually have a Facebook page and I also have an Instagram account, right? For this one, I select the Instagram account. For the text of the post, I attach the caption, as I showed you earlier. Publication is going to be posted immediately, right? So as soon as this module is triggered, I want that post to go out. And then I also want to attach media to the post. I want to attach an image basically. And as you can see on the media fields here, the link to the image is once again the image URL. And you also need to have a thumbnail, which is again is going to be the image URL. You need those two right there. So that's it for Instagram. This automatically posts on Instagram, and then once again, it checks the box. Then for Facebook pages, I also added my Facebook page to Buffer because I tried to add it here, right? So here there is a module called Facebook. Where is it? I think it's called Facebook Pages. Yeah, Facebook Pages. There is a module called Facebook Pages, and there is an action to create a post. However, I figured out that this action only allows you to post text. It does not allow you to post an image, right? So with Buffer, it actually allows you to post an image. So I attached my Facebook page to Buffer. You can easily do that as well. And as you can see here, I selected Facebook page. Then for text, once again, I selected the caption. Attach media to the update. I added all my media fields right here. I added the image URL, and that's it. Simple. And then finally that. Same thing with LinkedIn. I didn't attach my LinkedIn account. I just, it's just the same process really, but what I'm gonna do now is I'm actually gonna run a demo here to show you everything working and being posted on the pages. Now, something important that I actually forgot to mention is these parts right here. So as you can see, we have a router. Now, a router module, what it does, it basically executes each one of these branches based on specific parameters, right? So as you remember here on the accounts field, I'm selecting which social media profiles I want to post to. Now, in order for this to execute properly and post on the correct social media accounts based on these values right here, what I need to do is attach these little filters right here, which basically what they do is what I need to do here is on the condition, I need to select accounts. So this is the accounts field on my table. So this right here is the record from this module right here. This is the record. This is you can think of it as the post, right? So once we obtain the post, right, these are the fields, right? The fields for that post. So what we need to do is go on this accounts array, right? We need to click on that, and the condition is that this array, so this array, it's an array. So array is basically like think of it as a data structure, like a collection of objects, or a collection of things, right? That's what an array is. We take that array, which contains these things in it, and in order for us to execute this branch right here, the array needs to contain Twitter in it. So this array right here needs to contain Twitter in it. Otherwise, this branch will not be executed, right? Or in other words, we will not post on Twitter, right? Same thing happens here with Pinterest. We check the array. If it contains Pinterest, then we execute this branch. Same thing here, right? So this is just a really easy way to select which accounts you're going to be posting on. So let's go back to our Airtable here. Let's delete all these ones. And I'm actually just going to create, I already posted this one yesterday. So I'm just going to click posted there. And I'm going to create a new one. Let's first find the image, right? So Airtable has so many different options for you to upload files. You can upload files from your computer. You can actually also, it has a web search, and I'm going to use this. I'm going to search for an entrepreneur quote, because my test accounts are entrepreneur accounts. And let's see. Opportunities don't happen, you create them. That's pretty cool. So that's my image right here. Upload it. And it's right there. It's going to upload. And then I can select the accounts. I'm just going to put all of them. Instagram, Pinterest, Twitter. That's it. And then post date. This doesn't really matter right now because I'm just going to run the module manually. I'm not going to schedule it because obviously this is a video, so I'm not going to schedule it. And now, okay, we need a caption too. So what is this again? Oh yeah. Who agrees with this? Simple. There we go. Let's delete this one. So now what I'm going to do is just I'm going to run this scenario manually, right? So if I had a time there, you know, if I wait for the time, then it would do it automatically. I will have to obviously turn on my scenario. But now for the tutorial, I'm just going to run this manually. So let's go ahead and run it. Okay, so I'm just going to delete the LinkedIn one because it's giving me an issue there. Save, and let's hope this works. How awesome is that? Okay, so we got an error on the Facebook, but let's check the other ones first to make sure that they have been posted. So I'm going to refresh my Pinterest here. Oh, it actually posted. Okay, let's see what mistake I made here. So it posted the same one as yesterday. Okay, I know why I did that, because I haven't yet created a way. So what I need to do is actually update the formula, and I'm actually going to do this live, guys, so you can see how I'm going to troubleshoot this. So what I need to do is actually make sure that the records that are retrieved from this module right here do not have the posted check mark, because you don't want to be posting the same posts that you already made, right? So what I'm gonna do is actually figure a way to extend this formula. I'm gonna pause the video and I'm gonna come back to you with an extension that is gonna make sure that the posted part here is not checked. So here we are, guys. I think that I managed to fix the error. So what I had to do is basically attach an extra rule to my formula right here. And before, we basically had this rule right here which checked if the current date was equal to the post date string, right, in order to find all the posts for today. And now what I had to do is extend this and add another rule which basically checks whether the posted field is equal to 1 or 0. And the idea is that if it's checked, then it should be equal to 1. If it's not checked, it's equal to 0. It's basically like a true or false statement. And here I'm actually using the not formula, which basically says that posted equal to 1 should not be true, right? So it should not be checked. And the way that I combine these two formulas together is using the AND formula. As you can see, I'm surrounding the whole thing. So there's a bracket there, right? There's a bracket there and there's a bracket at the end. And then in between these two rules, right? So in between this and this, there is a comma, right? So that's how you separate the rules, and then you surround the whole thing with brackets and add an AND, at the beginning. And I can actually show you the formula right here on the Airtable references. So as you can see, it's a logical formula, and the first logical part goes here, and then the second logical part goes there. Actually, I didn't have to add those square brackets there. I just did it like this. So the first formula goes here and the second formula goes there, right? So this is it, guys. Now let's go ahead and run this, right? So if I just run this module right here, it's not connected to the rest. I'm just running this just to check if I'm able to retrieve the correct records. So currently we should get the second post right here. So let's see. There we go. So the output is just one post, and it's the one that has caption who agrees with this, which is the second one. Now let's remove this one. Let's check now. Let's see. Now we should get both, right? Actually, no, we shouldn't get both because the max record is set to 1. So we should actually get the first record because we're sorting by ascending order and we're getting the earliest. So we should get only the first record. There we go. Do you agree with this? That's the first one. Perfect. So this works. So now we already posted this one. So now let's connect. Sorry about that. Let's connect the module back to everything else. And now let's run this again. Hopefully it works. As you can see, guys, everything seems to be working fine. Now the first thing I'm gonna check if we have a tick here. Yeah, we do. Perfect. So this post has been made, and now let's check our social media networks. So Pinterest, there we go. Last thing you post. Instagram, there we go. Facebook. There we go. I see there we go. Okay. Go away, Facebook. There we go. And then Twitter. Refresh. Who agrees with this? Yeah, Twitter only posts the caption, right? So so yeah, the idea is that for this post, I shouldn't actually post it on Twitter because it doesn't make any sense there. So yeah, guys, this is my social media planner tool. I really hope you enjoyed this tutorial, even though it's gonna end up being a little bit long. But yeah, I just wanted to show you every single step of the process, and you also seen how I go about troubleshooting some of the issues that might come up along the way. Please let me know in the comments below if you have any questions, anything you want to ask about this whole process. I'm gonna do my best to help you out. Any suggestions, if you want me to improve this, if you want me to make another video to show you other stuff that you can add in order to make this more powerful, let me know in the comments below. As always, if you like this video, please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to my channel if you want to see more videos like this one, more tutorials, more projects that I have coming out soon. And yeah guys, thank you so much for watching.